I was gonna say Pokemon Stars.
Oh, I was thinking.
Actually, I was gonna say either of the two. Whichever one you said, I was gonna say the other one because I'm a butthole. Some people don't like Pikmin, and those people are wrong.
They're very wrong. Also, I would love Pikmin in New York with people. That'd be pretty cool.
No, this goes to my feelings about Mario already. No.
All right, so let's address the elephant in the room.
Hey everybody, welcome back to games we've never played before and nobody's played before, so we're gonna talk about it like we play them anyway. I'm Chris.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Jeff.
And that was the whole thing.
All right, so we're going to talk about Switch, right?
Yes, we're going to talk about the Nintendo conference and our hopes, our dreams, and then the bulk of it will be for our disappointments.
Okay, so the most important aspect of the conference,
yes.
The clothes. Can we just discuss for a second the way that every single person was dressed?
Yes, we can.
We had
there was
a magician, we had a vampire, we had a 12-year-old,
a mad scientist.
Mad scientist, that's right.
Yes.
What about the guy that made the Splatoon logo thing?
Splatoon 2.
We had a guy in a Mario hat with eyeballs.
Yes. We did have Todd Howard in a t-shirt and jeans, though.
That's true.
We
had the guy from EA who wanted not to be there, and we had his translator who had tuberculosis.
Did you notice how tall he was?
I did. He was huge.
I couldn't tell if he was actually huge or if he was just eclipsing the poor man kept in the shadows behind him.
Excuse me, his name is Bill Trinan. And
I mean, it could have been that, but also there were all the Japanese people who were tiny as well, so just relatively huge.
Yeah. I would like to point out that nearly every person who was on stage had a massive bulge going on. Because, you know, the first place I look for someone's on stage is their crotch. Except for this guy. He's just wearing the color beige.
Seriously, like, look at him. His suit ends at, like, mid-calf. And then he's wearing white running shoes.
Yes, because of course he is. Why wouldn't he?
Is this the guy who had the world's worst translator?
The guy that sounded like he was gonna barf?
Maybe.
One of the translators sounded like he was gonna barf, or like he was just really, really tired.
No, that's not this guy. That's the guy who was talking about the like wrestling game that I'd never heard of or cared about.
Oh.
And his translator like couldn't understand him at all and was like 5 minutes behind and was clearly just making stuff up.
But I want to point out that they missed a critical opportunity to just call it Splatoon, but replace the TOO with the 2. It should just be Splatoon. And they didn't do it. It's Splatoon 2.
But then where would they put the eyeballs?
You just move it over to the left. Oh wait, there's eyeballs in the O's too, huh?
That's what I meant.
There's also eyeballs in the 2, and that would have worked just as well.
Apparently it's not enough for Jeff.
No, I agree with you. That's a critical pun failure.
Uh-huh.
Natural one.
Do we have any like specific things that we want to discuss besides the outfits and their failure to pun?
I had to get it out of my system, but yeah, actually I had quite a bit that I thought was interesting, but maybe I should let Jeff talk because I talk a lot.
Well, I will already say that I've pre-ordered 2 consoles and Zelda Special Edition, so I'm sold on this.
Clearly.
From the get-go.
2 consoles, wow.
Why did you get 2 consoles?
Well, so I panicked this morning when I realized that pre-orders were available. So I pre-ordered on Target online, but they only had the gray Joy-Con option available at the time. And then I called.
And you're married, so you need the colorful one.
Of course. So then I called my local GameStop, and they had about 10 pre-orders remaining, but you had to do it in store. So I braved the icy roads in Oregon to drive down the road to GameStop, put in my pre-order for that, and I just haven't canceled the gray one from Target yet, on the off chance that perhaps one of you two missed the pre-order opportunity and would like to have mine.
Well, I will say I'm pretty surprised that you say that GameStop only had 10 pre-orders left. Jeff and I talked about this a little bit last night, but I am still, even knowing that, thinking that this is not going to be a supply constrained situation, at least not for very long. I'm imagining that I'll be able to walk into, you know, a Walmart on, you know, April 1st maybe, and just grab one. That's sort of my guess. But
See, with pre-orders, usually I'm like anti-pre-order in general. Jeff knows this. I've shamed him for pre-ordering things before.
Yep.
But this is hardware from Nintendo. So you're either gonna have a situation with the Wii U where like nobody buys it, or you're gonna have a situation with like the NES Classic, which is like a very like right now thing.
Yep.
People are still unable to find it. Like people would go to Target and they're like, we had 3 this morning, they're all sold out, and then 3 weeks later they're like, we got our second shipment, it had 2.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo is notoriously bad at hardware supply.
3 months.
That's true, and I've always found that to be kind of weird, but I don't know.
They're a
You'd
pretty
think they would learn.
conservative. They're a pretty conservative company, though. Like, even if they think they have a hit on their hands, they shy away from mass producing until they see what the market does.
Yeah.
Which
I could see that with something like, you know, like a game disc, if we were still in those days. But with a console, like, it's not like they have a history of doing the PlayStation thing and releasing like 18 different versions of a console. And the console lifecycle is pretty fixed at about 5 years. So, I mean, if they're ever going to sell them, it seems like an initial large buy makes sense to me. But I don't run Nintendo, so.
Yeah, no, probably a lot more people would be happier if you did.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah. Just put all of the money into remaking Kirby Dream Land. All of the money.
So I think we should talk about the fact that there's very few launch titles available. Right up until the end of this presentation, the only confirmed title we had was 1-2 Switch, which
Yes.
people are likening to Wii Sports or
Right.
Nintendo Land,
Mhm.
which will probably be fun.
But it's not a motivating factor to buy.
It's not on day one.
Right.
And
No.
then so we get to the end of the presentation, and I was talking to Andrew about this. I'm like, where's Zelda? Where's Zelda? And they kept going later and later in the year. Like they started with Splatoon in the summer, and then they said Mario was holiday. And I'm like, if they're going later and later, Zelda's not going to be till 2018.
Yeah, I kept making jokes the whole time. I'm like, and this game's coming out like holiday 2019. And like, I didn't think they were actually going to be announcing like Mario for holiday. I was just making jokes.
Yep.
But that's for the Mario discussion, which there will be plenty of.
Oh,
But
yes.
so luckily we are getting Zelda on day one, which
Mhm.
I think it's definitely a good thing. I'm still skeptical that there's nothing else. I mean, I say nothing because I don't really count
There's-
Just Dance or Super Bomberman.
Super Bomberman R, thank you.
Okay. And Skylanders definitely doesn't count because I think that's
Yeah.
definitely on its way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, I agree with you, but let's talk about something related, which is March 3rd.
Yeah, that's really weird. Like, if you think that if they had more stuff in the pipeline for later this year, they would just hold it off until then.
Well, I mean, I don't want to rag on them for that because, no, I want my Zelda right now. But,
Yeah.
like, a 6-week window is insanely short, especially for Nintendo. Like, I don't know. I'm going to look up when the Wii U was announced and when it came out.
Mhm.
But I guarantee it was more than a month and a half.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. And even like the reveal for the Switch was when, like September? So that's like 6 months
October.
total. October. So even less. Like 5 months from revealing the console to the public to it's in stores. That's really short. And I know people who, like, they didn't know how much it was going to cost. They didn't know what was coming out for it. So they didn't want to make any purchasing decisions. And then they had the reveal and they're like, well, I don't really have enough time to adequately budget for all the things I want to get now. So it's a weird business decision. It's a weird just decision in general. Jeff, do you have any insight into why they may have done March?
Well, let me just call up my buddy John Smith, who works at Nintendo, and ask him. No, I don't.
Is he your uncle?
No, just a friend. I have other friends besides you two.
Okay, so for context, the Wii U announced at E3 in June of 2011 and released November 18th, 2012. So that's more than a year.
Yeah. This is patently. Maybe they looked at all of their Wii U stuff and they were just like, I need to do the opposite of that. So instead of giving over a year, they gave less than a year.
Well, you know what else could be relevant is that E3 is dead.
That's true.
Yeah.
E3 doesn't really mean much in terms of those announcements anymore.
When would you announce it? CES? Like, that's not really the right time. So
yeah.
Not having a big trade show that they feel the need to push for the announcement at may have affected this as well. Anyway.
Yeah.
I do think that the lack of launch titles is a little bit interesting, but I'm not super duper worried about it because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't really follow this stuff as closely as I should, but I don't feel like there's a competitive console coming up soon.
No, because the new versions of the Xbox One and the PS4 released later last year, and so I don't expect a new console from either of them for at least 4 years, maybe.
There's one more new Xbox in the pipe. They have not revealed it's in NX stage right now, essentially.
Okay.
Like we only know the rumored name. We don't know when it will come out or what it will be, but.
So we know nothing about it, okay. Because with the PS4, it was like a smart move because they could develop for a new system without developing for new architecture. Which, if that's like the road they want to go, it would be nice because then there's no like compatibility issue. It's just a performance issue.
It's more like PC gaming. Like it's a incremental upgrade.
But I was also looking at games that are coming out for the PS4 and the Switch, and there's like 2 or 3 PS4 games coming out, and there's about the same amount of Switch games. So in terms of launch, it's pretty weak, but in terms of the whole year of games that are coming out, it's not bad. There's just no back library to sustain it at this point.
I think Zelda is an enormous draw, especially given the drought that we've had. I mean, I know a lot of people like me are a little bit pissed that they bought a Wii U and never got a Zelda game for it, but I mean that, like, on the one hand makes me want to be like, screw you Nintendo, I'm not getting a Switch, and then on the other hand it's like, need Zelda, so I'll probably fall on the need Zelda side.
What I'm worried about though is if Zelda is the only game that's out for the people who are only into the Zeldas and the Marios, not all the third parties, and it's simultaneously, or not necessarily simultaneously, but very soon after releasing for Wii U, all those people who have a Wii U might think, well, I'll just buy this for the Wii U and I'll wait to buy the Switch when there's more games.
Is Breath of the Wild coming out for Wii U?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Did not know that. That's dumb. Yeah, okay. I'm on Jeff's side now.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of people. It's just going to be graphically inferior, I guess. Oh, that's something. Okay, so I saw that they announced the specs for what the dock does in terms of graphical integrity, fidelity.
Ooh, tell me this.
The thing is. Yeah, so the tablet will play at 720p constantly. That's what it does. And then for some games, the dock will increase the resolution, which is weird on its own.
Mario Kart's going to be 1080p, 60 FPS on the dock.
Right. But 720, maybe 60. I don't know that number on the tablet. And then Breath of the Wild's going to be 900p, which already is just weird. But
I guess that's 16 by 9.
So now we know the dock does have some. I don't think it's power. I think it's just upscaling it. Like it has upscaling capacity.
Well, it'll be power too, because the total like power of the system definitely affects like what you can push. So just having it connected to it. It's going to be charging.
If it's in the dock, it has to be charging. So it's got unlimited power supply.
Yeah,
that's true. And there may be cooling in the dock or something else that lets you push it to a higher DDP.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't have a whole lot of time, but I do want to talk about some of the other games. And
Did you have feelings about some game in particular?
uh,
I have feelings, but I
So-
can wait for your feelings.
my first feeling is, I know you want to talk about Mario, but my first feeling is, why are they not releasing Mario Maker for this console? They just re-released it for the 3DS to, I thought, pretty popular demand. And I was honest, I haven't bought it Mario Maker yet because I was holding out for the Switch, thinking, well, I'll just buy it for the newest, latest, best console, and I'll be able to play with everybody else. But I'm surprised that we got no announcement for a Mario Maker port.
Is the tablet a touch screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Then yeah, I don't know why.
That would
was
be
the only thing I could
insanity
think
if
of.
it wasn't.
Yeah. No, I can't think of any good reason. But
I don't really understand why Mario Maker came out for the 3DS at all.
Neither do I, especially because there's no making. It's just Super Mario play all the levels other people made.
Right, but I think that's probably a Japan thing. Because
Yeah.
that's like... Japan cares about stuff that we just don't care about in America. And
Like mobile gaming.
Right, like mobile gaming, and like Street Pass is super popular over there. And, you know, all the like, oh, you can bring your Switch and play over local Wi-Fi. I was like, this is Japan features for sure. And so maybe that's why the DS Mario Maker was out, but I don't know that you need Mario Maker for the Switch. Like, what would be better about Switch Mario Maker than Wii U Mario Maker? I don't understand the purpose.
I think it would just be
The portability of the console. Just
no,
like,
not even that. I think it's just continuing the player base is the only thing I can think of. The portability is, I mean, they already have the 3DS version for that, and they're old
true.
games, so the downscaling of the graphics isn't a huge hit. I mean, it does look really pretty on the Wii U, the Mario Maker stuff.
I was
Yeah.
just hopeful for. I was hoping it would be like the Wii U version where you could create levels, but I'd be able to take it with me on the go, so that I could take it, make levels, and play levels anywhere, which would make it superior to both the Wii U and the 3DS versions. But I guess now I just have to buy it for the Wii U.
Oh,
Well,
no.
maybe we will get it because the Switch is ARM-based, and they've already ported it to the 3DS, which is an ARM console. So the porting should not be that big of a deal. It's basically the graphics pipeline, and Mario Maker's not super graphics intensive. So maybe we will see it, and they just didn't announce it yet.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's possible. Could be for the November Nintendo Direct.
Could be.
Anyway, this is actually what I need to drop. Sorry that I couldn't stay for more of this conversation. If you want, I can send you some more of my thoughts for later. But you guys can go ahead and talk about Mario now.
I'll let you leave with my feelings that Mario Odyssey is gonna blow. Sorry, you can go now.
I hope you're wrong, but
I hope I'm wrong. I've got the trailer up, and Andrew and I can talk about it. We can complain later.
Yeah.
all right. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so Mario Odyssey. I don't think it's gonna blow.
The levels look pretty empty. The things you collect in each level are just like shapes. It just the city has like people in it, and I don't want that. They look like Sonic 06, and that scares me. Is the
All right,
thing.
I'll give you the city. The city is disturbing, and Mario is wildly out of proportion to everything. Although at least he's not actually a hedgehog, so like
At
that's a
least
little
he's
better.
human. See, I saw the trailer,
but-
and I got to the part where Bowser's wearing a tux, and then I was like, "Yeah, I'll play it."
That's
Before
kind
that,
of what I
was
said to Jeff. I was like, I mean, I'll play it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no universe where I don't play this game. But so I give you the city. The city looks pretty effed up. Empty levels. You know what game has really empty levels? Mario 64. You know what game is amazing? Mario 64. So that doesn't bother me very much.
Here's my thoughts about that. Mario 64 has also very closed levels. Like Bob-omb Battlefield is pretty empty, but there are walls going up all the sides. You don't have that in this. It looks like it just stretches on forever. So the emptiness feels way more vast here to me.
Well, I'm sure that's what they're going for. I mean, it's called Odyssey. I'm sure it's very much like open world, roam around.
Where's my ship? Where's my sirens? Where are my lions? Actually, there were lions.
The lion was pretty adorable. Clearly a Mario Land lion. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic about Mario Odyssey. I mean, like one of the guys whose names I can't remember said, it's been a really long time since Sunshine, and it's been 20 years since 64, and we haven't had a Mario game in that style since.
That's true.
So I'm excited to see what a new one of those could be. I mean, Sunshine has never been my most favoriteest game, but I know a lot of people love it, and 64 is amazing. So I would like to see a new open world Mario.
If it has the same sort of gameplay as 64, where you go to an area and then like all of the stars are essentially there except for a select few, and like you go in with the expectation of a specific one, but for a lot of stars in 64, you can just go in and you're like, I'm gonna get that one instead because it's right there.
Yeah.
So if there's that kind of like distractibility there, I would be super down.
Sunshine's a lot more railroady in that sense, right? But I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sort of expecting.
Did
you play Sonic Adventure, the first one?
I did.
Okay, so you know how like there were like emblems in the city and like side missions and stuff, but then you could go to actual missions that you had to do?
Yes.
I assume it's going to be pretty similar to that. That's my feeling.
As long as it doesn't have the Sonic 06 thing of loading all the goddamn time.
Well, it's a cartridge, so the
also,
loading times are basically going to be gone.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Which
so
we haven't talked about that yet.
No, it's all cartridges.
It's cartridges, but it also has 32 gigabytes of internal memory and SDXC support. So
what is SDXC?
It's really big SD cards.
Okay, because I just saw something that said that the internal memory is 32 gigabytes, just like you said. And then like Breath of the Wild is like 13 gigabytes, so it's already nearly half the internal memory if you wanted to download the game instead of buy a physical copy.
Right, and so that's the question, is like, what are these cartridges? Are they just SD cards preloaded with the game data and you can just download it just as easily? Or are they some sort of basically DRM chip that you just need to have in there, but all the data actually lives on the system? Like, what is this? These are the things I want to know.
See, that's a good question because
Related, does the dock have a standard HDMI port, or is it some effed up proprietary thing? I literally like cheered out loud when they announced USB-C for the charger.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess that's because then it's not proprietary. That's a good point.
Exactly. Yeah. You know how the actually, this is kind of a side note, but did you know that the DS charger is literally micro USB but just shaped different?
I did not know that. That's baloney.
Yeah. It is baloney.
It's shaped different so that you can't use micro USB?
Yeah, and you can literally just take a mini USB and push really hard and it'll work. Okay, so let's talk about the controllers.
Wait, what were we talking about before?
We were talking about
because you
SD
said maybe
cards.
it's a DRM chip and it's just checking after it installed all the data on your console anyway, because that's what PS4 and Xbox One do. If you get the disc, when you put it in, it installs the game on your console before you can play it, and then the disc just acts as the check for license. Every time you start up the game, it spins the disc enough to make sure that it's in there and it's the right game and it's a license for it, and then it stops spinning the disc and just plays the game from the hard drive anyway.
That sounds so breakable, but anyway, not the time.
Yeah.
I really hope that that's not what it is.
The controller, you were saying about the controller. I think it's not. I think it's the game is just preloaded on the SD card.
I hope so, because that would make sense. Controllers, they look really small.
Yes.
Discuss.
As a non-giant human, I think they're fine. But I know people who are also giants and other people who have large hands, and they have all been concerned that they're tiny.
I'm very, very worried about this because the guys that they showed holding them, it looked fine, but they were also little tiny Japanese men. So, I don't know. We'll see. But
That's
more
racist.
than that though.
Go on.
Just like hardware generally, super intrigued. Like, I'm really, really interested in how this is all going to work out, because you've got the dock, the Switch itself, the two controllers that talk to the Switch and also each other, and also slot into the little dock thing, which somehow makes it know that there's actually only one controller, and like, you know, they can talk to each other. I saw USB ports on the side of the Switch. Like, super interested in how hardware goes down, and especially interested in this HD rumble thing. Even though filling a glass with ice cubes is about the dumbest demo you could possibly give for such a feature, I've always felt like haptic feedback and like making you feel like you're actually holding stuff is like a next thing that needs to happen at some point, and so I'm really interested to see what comes out of that.
I don't know. I feel like the ice cube thing is it's reasonable. It's a reasonable demo of it because it's demonstrating multiple things, multiple similar but distinct feelings. You know?
Yeah, but like it's not a game.
No, it's not. I have no
And
idea
I don't
what the
know,
use for
like
that would
unless
be.
you're gonna make Yahtzee for the Switch, I don't really know what the point of
Holiday
that demo
2018
is.
Yahtzee.
It'll be part of like a board games pack.
Oh my god. Yes.
Actually, I'd be kind of into that too. Yeah.
People were complaining about 1-2 Switch, about how it looks like, please show me video games, and this is not a video games. Which, I mean, from the description, it's not video games. It's board games with a video menu.
Yeah, but that can be great.
I'm excited about it because I'm the board game guy of the people that I hang out with, and so I'm like, this looks fantastic. I want to get this, and everyone else is like, what?
Plus, apparently, it will get me out of dancing at nightclubs, so I appreciate that.
How will it? What?
In the like show of like people playing it in locations, one of the locations was like a nightclub, and I was like, yeah, that's what people do in nightclubs.
Just bring your Switch. Problem solved.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that could be real cool. I'm not as excited by the like transformability as I think a lot of people will be.
Mm-hmm.
But I am very interested in the like diversity of control schemes that are available.
Yes. The modularity of it.
Yeah, and like I could imagine, although no one showed me this, like hybrids of those.
Mm-hmm.
Where like one player has the Switch with the things attached, but then there's two other things that are like elsewhere, and you could do like DMing stuff. I don't know. It could be cool. The Wii U is actually a little better fit for that because of the separateness of the screen and the other screen. But
yeah, the asymmetry.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know. I just think that it could be really awesome. I'm a little worried because historically it's hard to get third-party support for things with weird input methods, but I think in the age of VR, people are starting to wrap their heads around that a little bit more and like just accept that it's not going to be lowest common denominator programming like it has been for a long time.
It's also it supports Unreal. It supports Unity.
Ooh, so those are both very good.
Right? One of the games made by Atlas, who is normally do a lot of work with Nintendo, but they made a game in Unreal 4.
Yeah, I saw the huge logo.
Yes. I saw that when I was like, oh, cool. So people will actually make games.
Okay, so I figure there's basically like two real quick things and then one big thing left to talk about.
Go on.
No region locking. Yay.
That's fantastic. I was super stoked when and it was like right at the beginning too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The beginning of the presentation was, all right, so for all the people who have stuff to do, here's the price, here's the date, we're not region locking, we're going to talk about stuff now. Like that was...
Yeah, that was great.
That was really cool.
Lots of people are going to pay a lot of money for fancy colors.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the big thing, paid online.
Yeah.
First ever for Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. And now it's just PC that is not... Well, I mean, you pay for internet and your PC, but you know.
Right. I don't think they can get away with the type and quality of online service they've historically had and also charge for it.
I agree. I have read also that PlayStation, because PlayStation Online, what is it, PSN, it wasn't always a paid service.
Right.
I think that's with
It
PS4.
also used to be garbage.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it was garbage right up until they started charging people for it, and then it was the best. Like, PSN regularly ranks higher than Microsoft or whatever, the Xbox Live. Yeah, consistently. And so there's hope there. But then you have things like Xbox Live and PSN both give you free games every month. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, that's a cool new thing.
On the website for the Switch, it says the phrasing on it is super specific, and I can't tell what they want to say because they have a similar service. Subscribers will get to download and play an NES or SNES game for free for a month.
That sounds like it goes away at the end of the month to me.
Right, but if you go down to the services that are provided for subscribers, like in the checklist style thing, it says monthly game download. And so, like, downloading it makes it, just having the download, not saying like it's a rental or like they don't have other verbiage there. So there's like, it sounds like they're implying that they're going to take it away at the end of the month, which is kind of lame. So is there anything else to talk about?
I don't really think so. I mean, Xenoblade looks cool. Fire Emblem, yay. I don't know.
It's not a traditional Fire Emblem game, though. It's like Hyrule Warriors, but with Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah.
Which I'm
We'll see how
excited
that
about,
goes.
because I liked Hyrule Warriors. Hyrule Warriors was a fantastic game.
I like Dynasty Warriors. I didn't play Hyrule Warriors, but I liked Dynasty Warriors.
And you like Fire Emblem. You like
And
the
I
Fire
do
Emblem
like Fire
characters.
Emblem.
So it's like it's 2 + 2 = 6.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
wait, you're thinking of waiting until there's a game you want to get and then picking it up, or are you, because the Zelda's coming out on the Wii U, you have a Wii U.
yeah, well, I was thinking about pre-orders, but now I don't know.
We have convinced you not to.
Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe. I have no idea where I'm going to be in life in March, so I really can't say what I'll do yet, but
Yeah. Well, it's definitely the dollar value option to get Zelda for the Wii U and then wait until some sort of bundle later this year, because there's going
Yeah,
to be
I mean,
bundles
Christmas.
in holiday season for Splatoon, I'm certain, for Mario, I'm certain.
Yep.
And then maybe something else if they come out with another thing that's going to be on it.